Hi, Gay DeRusso with the Majestic rider. So here today with Teddy, I'm going to take him out on the trail. And he's doing well. His gaits are much better out there. He was a little anxious, so we're working on that, but it's getting much better. And let's see how it goes, but I bet you today he's going to be great. So Teddy here tends to be a little looky-loo, and that can make walking horses trippy when they're not paying attention. So we don't want him looking around. Right now he's holding his head pretty straight, but if you have a walking horse and it tends to trip, it's not really sure-footed, don't let it look around. They tend to be quiet and they're very good, and I love them, but some of them look so much and then they don't pay attention and they don't mind or care if they trip so much, and so they just trip and fall down. And they're like, yeah, whatever. So you want to keep them awake, not let them look around, so they're paying attention to where their feet are going. You be their eyes, they'll be your legs, but you want to stay on those legs, not fall down. So don't let them look around. Okay, so he feels pretty calm. Today's Thursday, so he's had, 3-4 days of work already, and so he should be pretty mellow, and I already took him out here the other day. So when you pass things like this, they're going to look around. Just keep their attention on you. I know a lot of you want to let them look around, and if your horse isn't spooky or trippy, that can be totally fine, but just be aware if they're looking around, they're not paying attention where their feet are. And if they're spooky, those who look around are looking for things to spook at. So it's the same with people. If somebody's really paranoid, I'm like, no, don't you look around. You can glance. We'll tell you when there's something to worry about. You don't want to scare yourself, you don't want to scare your horse, but you do gotta make them pay attention and you pay attention. So this is his flat walk, so you'll see his head going up and down, his ears are forward, all that's good. So when I'm talking about when a horse becomes a high alert or scared, I'm talking about it brings its head way up. This is his normal head carriage here, so this is perfectly fine, and you can tell his attention is to what's in front of us, okay? So you want to start out with contact. So they're paying attention to you. Start out somewhat forward, not galloping around, but just going forward, so you work some energy off. And here I just have small paddocks, so they're not in pasture all day, so I always run them around to see how much energy they have or do some groundwork. And today he was pretty mellow. This is the horse that I've been working over poles because he's pacey. And I'm out here riding in sand. There's a sprinkler right there for his mom to see, but we got to get him going under sprinkler. She said he was nervous about that, so work on that in the arena. So the scarecrows are coming up, so I just kind of vibrated my right rein so he wouldn't look at that, and then I used my right leg to push him over there, but to keep going forward, and I kept his head a little to the right so he's not paying attention to it. Now each time I come out here, I try to work on Teddy's canter. He's still learning it in the arena. He doesn't have it down, but each time I come out and tell him to canter and try, and one day it'll actually happen, but maybe it'll be today. It hasn't happened so far. Again, they associate things, and so what he thought was canter was you throw your head up and you pace really fast. And you're like, what? Yeah, that's what Teddy thought it was, because he didn't understand. So he didn't have a clear cue. He does now, but he still might not figure it out here because it's a different situation stimulus. Now, I'm going to stop for a second. Whoa, Teddy. Good boy. This is the great thing about walking horses, is they climb so easily. So we went up that like it's nothing, but we are pretty high up, and people don't realize that when they watch my videos. Okay? So now we got steps to go up. So you're trying to make sure they're paying attention to their feet when you're going up steps. With walking horses or any trippy gaited horse, I just kind of give a little half halt before the object, like pay attention, or I might give them a little tap with my stick or my leg or my spur, and that's just saying, hey, stay awake, because they are so calm at times and they can get a little bit goofy. Not all of them. If you have one that's never done that, that's great, but some of them can, especially if you're riding on some hills, but then you're riding on flat, you get bored. If they're climbing all the time, they'll most likely pay attention, but you take one of those horses that climbs all the time and now you're riding on the flat, that horse might get trippy too because they get bored. Okay, so here we got our flat walk, head going up and down. You can see that mane shaking. That's what you're looking for. And the speed, again, should be forward but not a super fast walk, because that'll be your running walk. So your flat walk is just 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now that's faster than I usually say in the arena, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Because out here, I can get him to gait faster because it's different footing, okay? So we want to be, when he goes, he was dropping a load there, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And I don't mind if his head is up as long as it's not above my like chin level and he's gaiting well, because a lot of walking horses do have higher head carriage. But if it's down, that's fine too, as long as he's not getting heavy on his front end. Like right now, he's starting to lean on it, so I just gave a half halt and lifted my hands just a little. You don't want these horses heavy on their front end, okay? You don't want them driving from the back. Keep that front end light. Okay, so he's gaiting very well, and he was very pacey when he showed up. He's been here about a month, but he's got talent. Okay, we just had to get it out of him and show him what we wanted him to do, because they can do so many things and make associations, and you know, if nobody's taught them, they're just making associations. They might be pacing all the time just because they didn't know you wanted the other gait, and they think that's what they're supposed to do, so you got to teach them. And other ones pace all the time because that's all they can do. They don't know how to use their legs any other way, and you got to teach them to separate those legs, and then you can usually get a beautiful flat walk as well. Okay, but some will be more lateral, which is towards the pacey side, and some will be more trotty, which is towards the diagonal side. Some will be perfect, and God bless you, it's hard to find them all the time, okay? So he's doing really well. He's not looking around, but I have a light feel on his mouth. We're together. I'm not just letting him wander around. And we're working on our gait as we came out here. Those hills help a lot. If you don't have hills, then, you know, use poles, use obstacles, things to climb over, do lots of stopping, backing up to get them to engage that hindquarter. Okay, so did you see I just stopped riding? How slow he got? Okay. Now there's a thing sticking out right here. Teddy, pay attention. That's what you just heard him hit. So he didn't trip on it or anything, but I wanted to make sure he didn't trip and fall. That's why I said, Teddy, pay attention. So do something, half halt, talk to him, slide the bit, push him sideways, just something to make sure they're paying attention to their feet. Now, I always look around because I'm looking for footing, and I'm looking to see what's in the woods. I am not constant scanning. I just glance and look like I'm driving my car. Like, oh, there's a car on the left, there's a car on the right, somebody's tailgating me. I see everybody hitting their brakes up ahead. So I'm prepared. Don't make yourself paranoid. You're just trying to be prepared. Okay, we're going to try one step of canter, and we probably will not get it, but let's try. So I'm going to half halt, shift my weight to the left, canter, canter, canter. See, there goes the pace, high-headed pace. Now he can also rack out here, so he might end up doing that instead, which is fun, but in time we want the canter. So I'm going to wait till we get a little further up. So this is going to be more towards his running walk. Hills are great for pacey horses to canter on. Flat is difficult for them. Easy, canter. No, oh. So I'm going to back it up. Now sometimes you back up, they'll rear up, so you got to be ready for that. Good boy. Canter. Okay, so I feel he's going to get his left lead, so we'll try it again. He just tried to rack. Canter. Now he's racking instead, which is fine, but I'm trying for the canter, so that's why I'm backing up. We'll try it one more time, Teddy. Canter. Now it's very hard to get a canter from that rack in some of them. If they're saddle gating, that's different, and if you got their head down a little bit, but he had it popped up so much that makes him very lateral. So we didn't get the canter there. And again, we might not get the canter out here until he is more relaxed with things, because then I might be able to frame him up better. Okay, so we're just going to see how it goes. But the steeper the hill, the easier it is to canter. Usually the harder it is for them to rack up it. Okay. So he's going towards his saddle gait. I'm trying to do some running walk first. So the saddle gait's fun and the rack is fun, you know, and the rack is just a faster saddle gait. But if you just go into those all the time and you used to have a flat walk and a running walk, guess what? Your horse won't be as good at the flat walk and running walk. So you're always trying to do it all. You know, start out forward, but in your flat walk, get a good warm up on your horse, then go to your running walk if you have one, or a foxtrot, or a slower saddle gait, and then from there you can start racking. But don't just go slow, fast, slow, fast. So many people ride that way, and they are not fun to ride with. You're like, can't we just keep a rhythm? So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Good boy. Now we're going downhill. Remember, downhill makes them a little pacey, so I slowed it down a little bit. But he's not anxious today. He's not spooky. All of that is much, much better. But the more you work your horse, the more you get him out there, the quicker you'll get to your goals. If you run once a month, it is not going to happen anytime soon. It might take 5 to 10 years. So the more days in a row, the quicker your horse will get it, the better they'll stay in shape, the faster they're going to gait once they're conditioned because you're working them so much, and everything's just going to be better. So try to make the time to help your horse. It's not magic, it's patience time, repetition. So you see the big hill we got? I don't know if Teddy's going to canter or not, but we're going to try. See? He just tripped and almost completely fell on his face. So, and you thought he was awake, right? But the footing changed. It got very deep, and I want him to have a consequent. Like, Teddy, if you trip, I know you don't care, but I care. I don't want you to kill us. So I'm backing him up a fair amount. Like, pay attention. And some geldings are like that more than mares. They're just like, what? Pay attention. Okay. Ready? Half halt, shift your weight, canter. Good boy. Now, we got a canter, yay. On his left lead, which is his bad lead, yay. We cross cantered behind, which means he was on the wrong lead behind and on the correct lead in the front. Boo. Because we wanted to canter on the correct lead in the front and the back, so it feels so much nicer. So it would have been hard to get the right lead there just because of how the hill was. So we got the left lead. And I'm happy, good boy, because he actually cantered. So you can't be too picky in the beginning. He cantered, and it was actually a real canter, so that was good. It's better than a pacey canter or pacey rack. So all that was good. And in time, we'll get that lead much better. But for now, good enough, Teddy. Good enough. Okay, going downhill. If you watch his other trail video, the owner taught him how to go downhill slow and collected and get on his back end. Very important for a lot of gaited horses, especially trippy ones or pacey ones. Okay, you don't want them flying down hills because they can trip and fall very easily. These are not quarter horses. Now, some of you look at my videos and you're like, what the hell are you talking about? Because I know you don't have a horse like this. You've never been on one, and you think I'm just making this stuff up. I've ridden thousands of gaited horses, all different breeds, which is the coolest thing ever that I've gotten to do that. And some don't trip at all, and they're completely balanced and always pay attention. Then you get guys like this. He's a great horse, but he's got a little, you know, couple little things. He gets trippy, he don't pay attention. So, but he's beautiful and has so much else going for him. So just know, even though you might not have the problem, believe what I'm saying or what I'm talking about, there are ones like this, and those are the people I am talking to. You know who you are. Okay, because all the gaited horses are different. Some are sure-footed, some are not so sure-footed, some have good proprioception, others don't. Let's try canter again, Teddy. Canter. Good boy. Yay, Teddy, good boy. That one got to stop. You know why? Because he cantered. It started off a little janky, but he actually got the correct lead in the front and the back on his harder lead. So that was very good. Good boy, Teddy. He's like, good enough to go home? No, Teddy. Never. Okay. Now we got one more hill up here. So we'll try. And then we might do a couple little hills going back home. But because this is a shorter trail ride, it's under an hour, I try not to go too fast going home. Now the other thing, remember, I'm not just asking for the canter. I'm not just kicking him and telling him to canter. I give him pre-cues. I half halt, I shift my weight the opposite way, so if I'm going on his left lead, which I am, shift my weight to the right, and then I use my right leg. Don't do it where there's, like right here, it goes up, but it immediately goes down. Don't do it there, because they can get trippy. You want to do it when it completely goes up. Canter. So there, he cantered, and he saddle gated a little bit. He kind of fell out of it. That happens because it's the footing, okay? So some of the times you're going to get a great canter, some of the times you're going to get a so-so canter. That's how it kind of is with gaited horses. So it depends on the incline, depends on the footing in that area, rocks or dirt. Is it stable, or is the footing giving out? Good boy. Okay. So we're going to ride the arena too. So that's about the end of the ride here. Sometimes you can see the ocean, but you can't now. Okay, so let's turn around. But Teddy's doing great. This bag moves around, and he's going right next to it, and he's not being goofy or spooky. So Teddy's getting calmer. If you watched Tilly's videos when she first came here like 3 years ago. No, I've had her 3 years. I think I've been here too. I don't remember. Anyhow, she was a nut job. She was very anxious and just would run home. And now she comes out slow, and she'll go home slow as well. It takes time to get your horses there, and you got to do the right thing. If you don't do the right stuff, they don't do it. So when you get home, you always ride around for 10 minutes or more. Then you try to tie them up away from their friends where they can't see them or hear them. They don't like to be alone. So then going home's not a reward, and you leave them there for a while. Keep an eye on them. Always keep them in sight, so you make sure they're okay, and they might go through temper tantrums. Let them, as long as they're safe. And in time, they'll get better and better, and they'll just come home slow, and then they'll stand there tied up, just quietly. And then over time, you don't have to tie them up so much. Still do it, once or twice a week, but then otherwise, just if they come home fast, or they're being bad again, they get it, okay? It's always a balance. You don't want to overdo it that they don't want to go home at all, but you don't want to underdo it that they're still speeding up going home. So Teddy's just fine because he's going slow. See him look to the left, and I immediately pulled on my right rein. The quicker you are with your aids, the better your corrections are going to be, the safer you're going to keep yourself, because they're less likely to have their head turning that way and then trip. But the worse rider you are, the less you're going to help them, the more trippy they are, and the more they're probably going to look around, okay? So it's not just the horse. We always talk about what's the problem with the horse. How about what's the problem with the rider? We all got to ride better. All got to ride better. So all these techniques will help. They worked, but you have to do it right. And when you guys are watching my videos and then you try it, I have no idea if you're doing it right. If it's not working, you're probably not doing it right. If the horse is scared, you're definitely not doing it right, or it's the wrong kind of horse to do those things with. Some horses are just extremely spooky, and if you show them things and do things, they don't get better. Those kind of horses, you just got to be like, we got to go. I worked on it for a year, you're still spooky. Well, guess what? We just got to go forward and go now. And you just really got to take charge of those horses and be brave yourself. Otherwise, you got to sell it to somebody who is brave. Because if you're scared and they're scared, that's just a bad match. You just make them more and more scared. All right, so here we go. We're going up the hill. So I'm going to do a little rack with him. Now, if you could hear his footfall, so even though he's pacey, he can do that pretty pleasant with his head up. And for now, that's fine, because we just want it smooth. But in time, I'll bring his head a little bit lower. But he did that very well. And right now I want him to have a difference between the canter and the rack. So I'm going to use the cues that his head up is for the rack and head down are here, and I give my shift weight, half halt, and all that is going to be the canter. You got to have different cues so the horse can figure out what you actually want them to do, and that's why I always say the word canter in the arena and out here so they're clear with what I'm asking them to do in the beginning. Okay, so remember, he's good, but with your horse you might have to half halt, so squeeze, relax on the rein, release, and then half halt, squeeze, relax on the rein, and do that over and over down the hill until your horse is rocking back on its back end. And just tell your friends to slow down. So many people go down these hills fast, they never wait for the people behind them, and then they start going up that hill that you see in front of us. So if we're going downhill and people start running up that hill, you know what happens next? My horse is going to start running down the hill trying to catch up with those horses because it doesn't want to be left because it could be eaten. And so that's how you make a lot of people not have a good trail ride, because you're not paying attention, you're not waiting for them, and you're just running up the next hill, and then their horse is getting upset. So always check with them. Some horses are fine, or people have worked through it and they don't care, but other ones don't. Okay, so he's doing his running walk. You'll see his head shaking. He's actually getting almost a little trotty, so in time, I bet you if he gets tired or they're going over a lot of obstacles, he's going to start fox-trotting. So if you have horses with a little pace and a little trot, you get a lot of gaits. And that gives you more endurance. It'll give them more stamina because they can use different muscles with different gaits. So if you're doing endurance, the more smooth gaits you have, the better, because that horse will have options versus just, you know, going to the trot or the pace. And if you got to pick one, I would go to the trot, not to the pace if you're doing endurance, because it's more sure-footed and it's better for their back if you're going to ride it, and you can post to the trot. It's very hard to post to the pace. It doesn't go well, and the horse is just kind of janky when you're doing that. I just don't like it. That's my opinion. Okay, so he's going well. I have a light contact on him. Now, because we've worked on trot poles and things with this horse, if he started getting too trotty, say I was doing my running walk and it started to get a little soft bounce going towards the foxtrot, I'd raise his head up just a little bit, okay? You could also slow down, but usually if you get a horse to do all the gaits, it's gonna be in this order: flat walk, running walk, then your foxtrot, then your saddle gait, then your rack, okay? There's many different names of those things, but that's the basics of it. And you don't have to remember the exact feet that are going where. You just want to know you want 4 beats, you want it to be smooth. There shouldn't be a bounce in it unless you're fox-trotting. Your horse is lateral or pacey and there's a bounce in it, you're pacing and step pacing. If there's a soft bounce and your horse is more diagonal, then it's probably fox-trotting. But the video is the best way to do it. It's even hard for me to tell when you guys send me a video of the horse's head, and I'm like, well, they shake their head when it's a running walk and a foxtrot, and it's hard to tell with different horses depending on their stride because I can't see that from their head. So if you want a quick, what's my horse doing, send a view from the side if possible. Okay, we're in deep sand. Oh, good. So he's doing good. The hard part with cantering, when you canter around the turns and stuff and they're not balanced, it's hard to keep that lead. And so with him learning to canter, this is flat and it's taking a turn. I'm like, I'm not going to do it here. I've ridden these horses so long, I know they can be very unbalanced and trip very easily. Don't take risks like that. You get a pacey one, just wait till it's going uphill and there's not a whole bunch of curves around her. If they are, they're big curves. It's not really weaving. Okay, so here I'll try a canter and I'm going to try a right lead. Easy, Teddy, slow down. So I'm trying to get him to walk. Now I'm going to push his hindquarter over the right, canter. He's trying. No. Good boy. So he tried, he couldn't get his feet, and he's like, how about I rack? And he threw his head up. Teddy, back up. So you usually can't do this with people because they won't wait for you. Canter. Come on, Teddy, canter. No, he couldn't get it. It's okay. It's all right, Teddy. So now see, he's kind of amped up. So now he's saddle gating. But he's amped up because I tried for that canter. Good boy. If there's something to jump over, like a tree or a rock or a branch, that can help you to get the canter too. I don't have that here because I have a hill and a drop off in the bushes. Good boy. So he's still amped up, but again, I caused that. Teddy didn't cause that, and that's just because I was trying for the canter, and he's like, I can't do it. I can't do it. That's okay. That's just the way it is with some of these horses. My best advice is if you want a gaited horse and you want to canter all the time, get one that already canters. It can be extremely difficult to teach some of these. The trotty one's not as bad, but the pacey one's, oh yeah. Good boy, Teddy. So I'm just trying to relax a little bit more. Now he's going towards the saddle gate. Watch his mane, watch his head, how it moves. So I'm going to slow down. So see, less mane motion, a little bit bigger shake, and now I'm going to go a little faster. See, head came up, the mane shaking quicker. There we go. And then there's just a little wiggle in the saddle. Good boy. So that's your difference. Your flat walk, running walk, and foxtrot are usually a little bit more relaxed, and your saddle gait and rack usually have a little bit more tension in them and a shorter stride than the other ones. Good boy. Good job. So Teddy's doing great alone, at least on my trail. He's gotten used to it now. But we want to put a lot more miles on him and get him used to everything. And get him so he goes on the trail ride relaxed with his mom. But if he goes home, because she's, and for a test, and he's like this, I bet you she'll be super happy. But again, you got to understand that if you try for the canter and those things, it can amp them up, and each horse is different on when they calm back down. Like Tilly used to stay amped up when I did that to her. In the beginning, she'd stay amped up the whole ride when I worked on the canter. He only did it for maybe a couple of minutes. He stayed amped up. So big difference. It's just like people, right? You get in a fight with them, they're mad for like a year. And some people are mad for an hour, and then they're like, oh, I don't care. That was stupid. Why were we fighting? Exactly. Exactly. Ain't too many people getting mad at stuff. Just relax. Enjoy nature, enjoy your horse, and be kind to them. Good boy. So now we got the step downs coming up. Good boy. A lot of them will get right here and scream to their friends. Don't let that scare you. That's normal. They're just yelling. Like, I made it. She didn't get me. Good boy. So there he got a little heavy. I keep half halting going down these steps because, again, we're trying to make sure he pays attention. So overall, how do you guys think Teddy did? I think he did phenomenal. He's looking around, so we're pulling on our right rein. And now I'm going to serpentine down this hill a little bit because he's looking around. So everything we use in the arena, we use out on trail. You just got to think about it. I'm like, well, he's not paying attention. His head's up. I could do that serpentine. It'll slow him down, get him to bend his body, and it'll give him a job to do. So he's paying more attention on me. Yeah. Oh boy. So overall, I think he did fantastic. And in time, he's going to get there. He did have some issues passing some other horses, and we got to get him going in groups. Where's the sprinkler? I hear it. Teddy's like, please don't do that. Please don't make me go on the sprinkler. Here's a little sprinkler. Oh, you got it, Teddy. Oh, you got it. Good boy. Good boy. Alright, well, I guess that's it for you guys. Remember, like and subscribe, and keep watching Teddy's videos, and you'll see him. We'll get them in a group and get them going. Oh, we got another sprinkler. Let's try to ride through it. So, right, rain and leg. He's like, I don't know. Oh, we went right through it. Good boy. It was squirting over our head, not at him. But he did it. Good boy. So, he's getting much more trusting with me, knowing I'm helping him. But that takes time. And you want your horse to bond with you, but they, you know, if it's a nervous horse, you have to be able to help them. Otherwise, you're just going to make them worse, and they get more and more jumpy. Okay? And prepare them well. You see me, I'm always doing groundwork or running them around first. It's different if your horse is in pasture and you're getting it out all the time and it's calm. No, of course you don't have to do all that stuff. But otherwise, if your horse is having issues, yes, prepare it as much as you can. It's only going to help you get through things safer than having it all of a sudden explode with all that energy it saved up. Good job, Teddy. All right, so I am going to ride in the arena, and then he's going to be tied up. I expect his mom to do the same every time until we get Teddy being a fantastic trail horse. All right, like and subscribe.